Hi everyone. We're going to be talking about how to get student submissions from Blackboard and bring them into Notability so that you can mark them up and provide feedback. So the first thing you want to do is go into your course that you are going to be working with, and you can either go to the full grade center or to the needs grading section depending on if you know there are recent submissions that need to be graded. But I just happened to submit a test assignment, so I just went right to needs grading, and then I click on the item and click grade all users. And then I scroll down, and over on the right here, you can see there's a little download button. Gonna click that, and it'll open it in the browser you're looking at. From here, you want to click on the little arrow up in the top right, click Notability, and then you're gonna do create a new note. So then I would also recommend that you use some type of naming conventions for these so that it's easier to organize. So let's say that your student's name, maybe you're going to do last name, and then you're going to say dash and say essay 1. And so then, any other students that you're grading, you can follow the same convention. Subject, you could add a new course. So maybe mine is MATH 123, and maybe the section number 201. So then you can add that as a file to that folder, which is pretty helpful. The last thing it might ask you is pages all. You would usually select this. It'll select this by default, but you don't have to turn it off. You would obviously want to get all of the pages of an assignment. Then you click import, and it says one file sent to Notability, which is great, and you click done. And it'll obviously take you back to the browser. You can do the simple swipe up if you've used Notability recently, and just click on Notability. And it'll open, and then if you give it a second, if it doesn't show up right away, come over to your folder that you just created and see. Now you can see it right there. So now you've got the item open, and you're ready to start marking it up. So we've covered Notability quite a bit in Apple Academy 1.0. The same tips, kind of tricks and tools apply here in terms of providing feedback. So if you wanted to provide kind of overall feedback up at the top of the paper, you could say, good work up here and kind of provide that overall feedback. And then maybe you want to go through each kind of section and say, this area here, I'll just grab my Apple Pencil, which don't forget you can use to mark up any of these documents. This item here doesn't make sense, and then say, needs rewrite. And you can also obviously use the highlighter tool to highlight anything, and you can kind of play around with those tools that we've used before, which is super helpful and allows you to kind of engage beyond just text-based feedback. So let's say you're all set, you've kind of done all your feedback, and now you want to get it to a place where you can re-upload it to Blackboard. What you can do is hit that little arrow icon again. You can click either Google Drive or Cloud Services. It kind of depends on which one you're using, if you're using iCloud or if you're using Google Drive. I'm going to say Google Drive. You can put it in a folder. So if you click that, it'll open up all of the folder options that you have. It might take a minute. You can see it took a little bit for mine to load. I'm just going to put it at the root of right at drive.google.com for me. The format, you'll pretty much always want that to be PDF. Page range all, yep, and everything should be all set. If you did want a preview, you could click view, and that would allow you to view what that PDF might look like to students. So then you click send to Google Drive. And I should mention too, if you're working with students, making sure that obviously the work is in a folder that's only viewable to you or to a co-instructor, and you can check those permissions in Google Drive. All right, so now that we've got our file saved to Google Drive with all of the feedback and markups, what you're going to do is come back to the tab that you have Blackboard open with the assignment, and you can obviously see you can add your grade here. If you're familiar with grading on Blackboard, it's pretty similar. And then you're going to want to click I should say feedback to learner will open up once you start typing in that attempt box. And then you want to click the little paperclip icon and click Browse My Computer, click Browse again, and by default it won't show you Google Drive, but if you click Browse, you can see there's my Google Drive, and you can see there's the essay I just marked up. And you'll say, here's the item we're uploading. If you want to add alt text, which, could be really helpful depending on the student's needs, you could say feedback. And then you want to say open a new window, yes. We're going to click submit. And it says that it's basically been added, and you hit submit again. And you can see now there's a link to that PDF in the feedback. So then you click submit one more time, and you can see now it's going to leave the needs grading section, which is, so now, anyone, the student can see their feedback, and it really allows them to kind of keep that record of the feedback with them in that PDF format, which is super helpful. Hi everybody. So in the first part of the video, I showed you how to download the file from Blackboard that you want to work with, open it in Notability, make your edits, and then upload it back to the student as feedback. Now I'm going to show you what the student would see in terms of how they see that feedback. So the students go to Tools, My Grades, and then they're going to look for that assignment that we just submitted. And I believe it is this one right here. And so you can see, we opened it, and then in addition to seeing their grade right there, they can also see the feedback to learner is this PDF, and they open it and they get it in a, again, in a tab in their browser. But overall, it's pretty seamless in terms of what they're seeing as they're reviewing their grade and their feedback. But let me know if you have any questions.